All right, ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hi, welcome to your mat. Today's practice is about alleviating some tension around the upper shoulders and the neck. It'll also translate into the lower body and hopefully translate into the breath as well as into the mind. We'll begin today's practice focusing on the muscles of respiration. So the three main muscles of respiration are your diaphragm, your intercostals, and your scalene muscles. So as you draw the breath in, the diaphragm will pull the breath down to the base of the lungs. The intercostals will draw the breath wide into the rib cage, and the scalene muscles will pull the breath up to the upper part and the back part of the chest. Then as you exhale, there's a gentle hugging in, a corseting in of the low transverse abdominis to press the air back out. So we inhale, engage through all three muscles, spreading the breath wide and full into the rib cage, spreading out the lungs. And as you exhale, you extend the exhale, slow down the breath, and begin to press the air out of the lungs. The three muscles of inspiration widen the lungs, spread the lungs, and increase the surface area for the breath to move into. The corset of the core presses the air up and out, slow and smooth. We'll find about 5 cycles of breath, visualizing the lungs stretching wide, up, down, side, and center, and then moving out, front, side, down, and center. One more round of breath, expanding out fully. Exhale out breath, empty out completely. Bring the hands to the top of the shoulders. Draw the elbows up, back and wide. And then come back to that fullness of breath. So every time you breathe, there's a sliding of the shoulder blades wide onto the back side of the body. A gentle release through the top part of the shoulders, the deltoids. And a nice spreading of the collarbones in the front of the chest. And then we'll reverse the action, drawing the elbows back up and forward. And all the while you're continuing to breathe. And with each exhale out, that tension travels along with that exhale. The hands will release down by your side. Drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Take the left hand, reach it away from the left hip. Flip the left thumb up towards the ceiling and soften the left shoulder down away from the ear. Now with the muscles of the neck, your scalene muscles, pull the breath up into the region of the neck and allow the breath to alleviate any tension felt in that area. Very nice, Carrie. We'll be here for 2 more cycles. Very intentional on toning those muscles as you pull the breath up high and wide to the upper chest. And breathe any tension, any tightness out with that slow extended exhale. You'll bring the chin down to the chest, roll the chin over to the left-hand side, and soften the left ear down to the left shoulder. Get a little broader through your right shoulder as you soften the tip of the shoulder down your back and reach the right arm away from the right hip. The palm might flip up, the thumb may extend back. You want to discover that place along your neck where you feel the most amount of release, as well as stimulation as you use those muscles to draw the breath in to alleviate the tension. And that focused exhale breath begins to dispel it through the body, out. And bring the chin down to the chest, roll your chin from side to side. And continue to pull the breath up high and wide into the collarbones. The chin will fall right in the middle of the chest. The hands will come behind the head. There's a gentle pressure on the back of your head and a rounding through your upper back. Pull the breath up into the base of your spine where the spinal column meets the skull. And visualize the breath doing the work as it massages and stimulates that area, creating space and breathing out tension. Very nice. One more round of very intentional breath. Then pressing the back of the skull into the hands ever so gently, you're going to lift the forehead up towards the sky so the throat begins to open up. Careful not to kink your neck or jar it back too far. It's a lift in between each one of those backbones for the extension back. And then pull the breath again to the top shelf of your shoulders. Draw it wide into your rib cage and pull it down to the base of the lungs. And then bring your head so it sits on top of the spine. Drop the hands down and just notice any shifts or change within the body. If there's a bit of relief, bring your hands to your heart space and set your intention for your practice. So whether you're working with an injury, whether you're working with a nice, supple, responsive body, setting an intention gives us focus and a purpose to practice getting comfortable in our bodies, however we're feeling in the moment. Exhale out all the breath. If your eyes are closed, open up the eyes and then make your way into a tabletop position. From your tabletop position, you're going to walk the knees back of the hips. So the knees are a little further back from the hips. You're going to bring the chest forward so the belly drops down towards the mat. Then the collarbones are going to go nice and wide. The arms are straight like poles. Gaze over your right shoulder and drop the right feet over to the right hand side. Switch it out. The legs will fall to the left as the gaze moves over the left shoulder. And from side to side, you'll be revolving the pelvis, revolving the cervical spine, which is part of your neck, and bringing a nice rotation to all of the spinal column. We'll hold here to the right hand side. Use those 3 muscles of respiration to feed your shape. How can you get comfortable in this shape? And then take it over to the left hand side. Wide and full with the breath. Coming back to center. Bring the knees wide, the toes to touch, and come into a child's pose. Rock the forehead from side to side. As you rock the forehead from side to side, the hips begin to shift from side to side, bringing an opening and a compression to the hips. The inner thighs melt down and the breath is still full and expansive. Using the palms from child's pose, make your way into that swan variation. This time the crown of the head lifts up towards the sky as the tailbone gets heavy down to the earth. Then rounding through the upper back, bringing the hips back down to the heels, chest falls to the earth. You'll pair that with the breath, using the palms of the hands to slide the chest up, dropping the chest and the ribs nice and wide as the front of the hips open, and then pressing yourself back to child's. And that fluid motion comes with that intentional breath. And this will be our last time through this movement. Coming into child's pose. Child's pose to tabletop. The knees will walk behind you slightly. The toes will curl under for downward facing dog. The sit bones reach high to the sky as the heels melt down to the earth. The collarbones grow wide as the shoulders slide out to the sides of your mat. Create space between ear and the top of your shoulder. And very slowly begin to walk the feet to meet your hands at the top of your space. Bring the feet hip width distance, shoulder width distance, a nice wide base. Then interlace the fingers at the crooks of the elbows. Sunflower pose, leading with the right elbow. You're going to bring the torso up and around. I'll show you. Leading with the right elbow up and around. Dropping down with the left elbow. Bringing rotation and movement to the thoracolumbar fascia, where all these ligaments and tendons attach to, right above the hips. Notice if you're creating any residual tension in the neck as you rotate the spine. That can tend to happen. And bring a conscious effort to remove that tension with the exhale breath. And then you'll reverse and make your way up with the left elbow and over to the right. How's that feeling? Good. We'll do about 2 more, or to where you feel nice and even. We'll meet in a forward fold. The fingers will release down. You'll plant your hands down. Walk your feet back just enough so the heels stay grounded on the mat and the palms are nice and flat. So take your feet a little bit wider, arms a little wider. You'll take the left hand over to the right ankle. Now gaze underneath the right armpit and allow that left part of the neck from ear to shoulder to elongate. You can intensify that stretch along the neck by either drawing the arm closer to the leg or finding a deep rotation as the left rib revolves underneath you. Does that make sense? Breath in, breath out. Those 3 muscles of respiration, pull that breath wide so it starts to fill the whole trunk of the body. And then you'll switch it out. The right hand will come to the left ankle. The gaze will slide underneath the left armpit. Find that degree of intensity that suits you in the moment so you can get comfortable within your own body. Release. You'll walk the hands forward and the feet back, coming into a high plank. Reconnect to those 3 muscles of inspiration. Press yourself back to a downward facing dog. Walk the feet to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Interlace the hands at the crooks of the elbows. 1 sunflower up and around. Release the hands, find a halfway lift. Widen out through the hips by drawing the femur bones wide to the side and energetically pressing down through the big toe mound. Bring the upper shoulders to hug towards the spine so the back of the neck gets some relief from the strength of the traps and the rhomboids. Forward fold. Can I touch you? Halfway lift. Shoulder blades slide together. Collarbones go nice and wide. Bring your head up just slightly. Good. Now the strength of the back body supports this nice long length from sit bone to crown of the head. Forward fold. Press through strong feet. Rise up to mountain pose. Hands will interlace at the low back. Reach the knuckles away from the crown of the head. Bend through the knees, forward fold with the chest expansion. Bend the right knee deeply, gaze over to your left. And allow the arms to lean over to the right just enough till you feel that stretch across the left side of the body, especially into the neck region. Then you'll switch the bending of the knees. Coming back through center, releasing the hands down. Planting the hands, stepping the feet back to a high plank. Downward facing dog. Breath of inspiration. 3 muscles pulling it wide, long and full. The right foot steps forward to a low lunge. Lower the left knee down to the earth. Rise up through crescent moon. Now bring a little bit more weight to that right heel. And as you hug the right hip back, the left hip will revolve and fall forward slightly. The left hand will plant to the inside of the right foot. Open arm twist. The twist begins at the tailbone and the dipping of that left hip down. So as the front part of the pelvis dips down, the femur bone's going to go in opposition wide. So you're still creating space across the front of the psoas. Good. Now lean the head back ever so slightly so the chin is parallel, and envision the elongation of the neck from top of the shoulders to the ears. Nice, Carrie. Breath. Wide, full, and deep. You'll switch out the arms, bring the right arm to the inside of the right foot, and twist away from the bent knee. Lift the left arm up to the sky. Now again, bringing focus to the spinal column. How can you become more comfortable by using the breath for your stability? Come back down to a low lunge. Both hands frame the front foot. Standing splits, press into the right foot as the left leg goes nice and high. So left leg is going to reach up to the sky. You're going to shift all of your body's weight over to the right foot. Yeah, very nice. Left leg meets the right for a forward fold. Interlace the hands at the crooks of the elbows, leading with the left elbow, one sunflower up and around. Hands release down, halfway lift that spine. Forward fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back to a high plank. Strong high plank. Downward facing dog. The left leg will reach high behind you. Step forward to a lunge, low lunge. Lower the right knee down to the earth and rise up to crescent moon. Now the jaw holds a lot of tension. It's a powerful muscle for its size, so breathe into the jaw. It's all connected through tendons and ligaments and fascial web. The right hand will lower to the inside of the left foot. The left arm will extend up to the sky. Right hip falls down and forward as the left outer hip draws back. That breath spans shoulder to shoulder, top of the head to hips. One more cycle. Switching out the arms, the left arm will plant down. You'll turn away from the bent knee. All the while, the lower body is stabilizing you with all those small little accessory muscle fibers. Maybe the head leans back a little more, and the muscles of the core of the breath support you without creating tension. You release the right hand down. Frame the front foot, standing splits, shift the weight into the left foot, reach the right leg up nice and high, step forward with the right foot, forward fold, halfway lift, forward fold, plant the hands, step the feet back to a high plank, lower down to the belly. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders for cobra pose. Peel yourself up. Hold here. Bring the top of the feet down. Now the arm bones are going to slide back. The shoulders are going to go nice and wide. And it's more triceps. The back of the neck is going to elongate. Yeah. And you're pulling the breath wide into the low back to create that space, wide into the rib cage to maintain that strength, and across the chest. So we're not building that tension around the neck, but we're finding integrated strength above and below it. Very nice. Lower yourself back down. Curl the toes under, and either from a high plank or a tabletop, you'll press yourself back into a downward facing dog. Feeling okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Right leg's going to reach up. Step forward to a low lunge. Rise to crescent moon, back knee lowers down. Hands come to heart center. Revolve crescent moon, left elbow outside of right thigh. So hands can either remain at heart or get planted down, up to you. So I like them at heart, just so I don't collapse in my chest, but that's your choice. There you go. Now widen out through the collarbones. Your release is going to be Warrior Two. It's a powerful press down with the legs and a revolving of the trunk of the body. Press into the feet, come into a high lunge. So it can be one nice smooth movement here, up and around. Very nice. Toes soften, jaw softens, spine is nicely integrated. Extended side angle. Reverse warrior. Right hand comes to the nape of the neck. Hold on to the nape of the neck. So right here. Elongate that neck. Reach the occiput bone up towards the sky. And draw the right elbow behind you. That's going to puff you out through the right rib, mid-belly. Breath in and breath out. Does that feel okay on your neck? Mm-hmm. Extended side angle. Now left hand comes to the nape of the neck. You're going to elongate the nape of the neck. Draw the left elbow back. Left rib revolves up towards the sky. Now you're standing strong in the lower body. Left elbow leads you up to star. Press through the right leg. Expand out widely through the hands. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Bring the right hand to plant underneath the chest and the left hand to the right ankle. So this will come forward and this will come behind. You're going to gaze underneath the right armpit. Shift the weight back into the left hip. Inhale. Exhale. On any unnecessary tension moves out with the exhale. Then switching the arms. Bringing the right hand to the left ankle, bringing that weight back into the right outer hip. Release. Walk your hands around to the right for a low lunge. Standing splits. The back leg will lift up. Forward fold. Rise up, mountain pose. The left knee will lift up. Single leg Tadasana. Holding balance. Single leg Tadasana. Very nice. Figure 4. Bending deeply through the right knee. Or eagle, that works too. Oh, eagle, no, you're good. Don't be sorry. No, it's all good. Eagle's great. Now take your right hand, bring it underneath the left elbow. Bring the elbows up to shoulder height. Spread the collarbones wide and then come back to the fullness of the breath. You'll release into airplane with airplane. That back leg is going to lengthen back, and Warrior 1 will be your release. The left foot will land. Warrior 1, you'll step the left foot back. Reach the arms up. Bring both fingertips to the nape of the neck to encourage that length through the back of the neck. Then let the right hip fall forward as the left hip moves back. Sorry, the right hip will draw back, the left hip moves forward. Or you're opposite than me. So your left hip will move back, your right hip will move forward. Okay, breath in and breath out. Hands release at the low back for chest expansion. Humble warrior, left shoulder falls to the inside of the left knee for humble warrior. So keeping the knees bent. Here is a place we can really alleviate some tension by dropping the head and the weight of the head down towards the earth. The reach of the arms is forward And the strength comes from the pressing down of the back edge of the foot and the grounding in of the left foot. Full breath in and out. Release the hands down by your side. Pivot on the ball of the back foot and then toe heel the front foot across your mat, coming into pigeon pose. Lift the chest, pull it forward and through, and then gaze over the right shoulder. Notice where that heel is placed and how you can stretch the neck further by bringing the chin more over towards the right. The left arm is going to reach in opposition as you lean the weight over onto your right side, pulling a deeper stretch into the outer hip. You feeling that? Mm-hmm. Good. Now 3 deep breaths, filling up wide, long, and full. Come back through center. Come into a high plank. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in and out. The left leg goes high. Low lunge. Crescent moon, lower the knee down to the earth, and then bring your hands to your heart space. Right elbow to the outside of the left thigh for revolve crescent moon. One smooth, fluid motion. You're going to press into the feet, rise up to a revolve crescent, to a warrior 2. Deep breath in and full breath out. Equal reach from left side body, right side body, away from that central line. Take a full breath in and out. Extended side angle. Right hand comes to the nape of the neck. Bring the hand and the elbow and the head to rest in the palm of the hand. That warmth of the hand melts away any tension, any tingling, any stress. Reverse warrior. Hand comes to the back of the neck. Elbow draws back, head rests in palm. 3 deep breaths. Moving into star. Both legs will straighten. Nice wide stance in star with a full breath in and out. Point the right toes forward for triangle pose. So the right toes are going to pivot forward. Back edge grounds in, triangle. Lean the torso. Hug the outer hip under and the top hip up. Soften the tension here with that expansive breath in and out. Is that okay? Fullness fills you. Exhale, breathe out that tension. One more round of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Using the strength of the side body, rise up to star. Pivot left toes forward. Hinge at the hips. As the hips open, the ribs follow. The breath. We follow the breath, getting more comfortable in our body, whatever shape we're taking. Rise up through star. Wide-legged forward fold. Walk the hands around to the left leg. Low lunge, pivot on the ball of the right foot. Pigeon pose. Toe heel the foot across. This is the opposite side for you.
No, it's not. That's why I was like, wait, hold on.
Oh, you know what? Oh, sorry. I know what I forgot. I forgot something. So bring the opposite leg forward. So actually the left leg's going to come forward because we have that balance to do. That's what I forgot. You're going to step forward, standing splits. The right leg's going to go high. Forward fold. Rise up to mountain. Right leg comes up with you. Eagle. Let's do eagle. Left elbow underneath the right. So as the breath moves wide, as do the bones. Your release is warrior one. You'll undo the arms, step the right leg back to warrior one. Reach the arms up, bring the hands behind the head, lean the head back. Right hip falls forward, left hip draws back. Inhale. Exhale. Hands lower down to the low back. Reach the knuckles away from the occiput bone. Really nice long reach. Humble warrior. Is this side different?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Gaze back at your heel. Release the neck. So instead of straining with the neck, just let it go heavy. It's hard to let it go heavy when we have so much tension in our neck and in our shoulders. Want to grip on. Breath in and breath out. Lower the hands down in front of the foot for pigeon pose. You'll toe heel the left foot across the mat. And gaze back at your heel. Notice where it's positioned. You're going to take the arm and reach it away. So I'm opposite from you. Now extend let me see how you're doing it here. You're going to be gazing over the left shoulder. And then reaching the right arm away from that gaze. That'll lean more weight into your left hip. You got it? Yeah. Okay. Very nice. One more full expansive breath in and out. Bring both hands forward, come to high plank. Lower all the way down to the belly. Up into your cobra. Maybe all the way up to seal. Bring those arms a slight bit forward, the palms a slight bit forward. And instead of tensioning in the back, it's a hugging in of the musculature. Lower yourself down. Press yourself back into a child's pose and take 3 deep breaths. Are you any more comfortable in your body from when you first started?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. The right hand's going to slide underneath the chest for thread the needle in child's pose. The right cheek falls down, the right temple falls down to the earth. And we come back to those 3 muscles of respiration. So the whole time your core is working. And then we'll switch out the arms. Unwind the left arm. You'll bring both palms to touch and rest the thumbs to the nape of the neck behind you. Hands are in a prayer-like position, and there's no force going on in the head. It's a tricep and the back arm elongation underneath the armpit, as well as a decompression through that cervical spine. And come back to your intention, giving the mind the feedback that it needs to come back to this process of getting comfortable within our own body, however we're feeling, whatever we're dealing with, physically, emotionally, or energetically. And when you feel ready, release the hands down and you'll make your way onto your back. And we'll end practice in final Shavasana. So all the benefits, all the effort gets integrated into the whole system of the body. Thank you so much for joining us for today's practice. With light love, gratitude, and grace, namaste.